Jim Jones was pacing around his tiny flat, feeling a strange urgency in his heartbeat. It started like any other Wednesday, but there was an unsettling electricity. Chrissy, his lover, had been on his mind a lot lately. Their intense moments together had left him speechless, but lately their distance made his skin crawl. As the afternoon sunshine streamed through the window, Chrissy felt alive and unburdened by the weight of her past. She was at her friend's house, relishing the warmth of laughter and straightforward conversation. She couldn't help but note, though, how much the man she had once loved still held a pull over her, one that, try as she might, she could not completely remove. The sun sank, flaming hues filling the sky, and he was shaken off. Jim felt a chill run down his spine when his phone rang ominously. It was a friend's message warning Common is returning to town. Feeling futile uncertainty seeping into his heart like poison, fueled by a sudden yearning to face the truth, he disregarded the message. A surge of heat raced across his cheeks as dread and anger swirled together. Jim immediately thought of Chrissy's reaction and how her eyes would shine as he shocked her. He got into his car, but when he saw a familiar car parked, his excitement as he drove turned to anxiety.
With a smile on your face, like everything is a joke too? Your mother was getting a massage, and Zeke was getting a lap dance in my backyard. Why? Because you make them feel like it's
Breathing deeply, he swung the door open and saw something that felt like a kick to the abdomen. His hands clenched, the laughter inside sounding like a mocking echo. His heart fell out of his chest when he noticed Common's car there, as Chrissy and Common spread out on the couch, laughing hysterically and exuding intimacy with their body language. Jim's voice boomed, "What the hell is going on here?" Dangerous and low-key, Chrissy wriggled to her feet, her head whipping around, her face drained of color. "James, you promised that you were over Jim, and I'm not even sure where to start with every word laced with anger," Jim yelled. With defensive hands up, Common stood, his expression a mix of astonishment and annoyance. "Jim, man, this is not as simple as it seems." "Close your mouth." Jim moved closer, the tension in the air smoldering, and added, "I don't want to hear your pitiful justifications." The room became chilly. There was a heated atmosphere, almost tangible. A glimmer of sorrow and fear flickered across Chrissy's eyes. "Jim, would you please allow me to clarify?" What he yelled, anger flashing in his eyes. "You've been lying to me behind my back, so even with every word you say." "I wasn't sneaking about," Chrissy cried, her voice wavering. Jim sneered, clearly not believing her. "What I had assumed would be a simple conversation." You recognize this as a conversation. He felt a part of himself crack as he turned to storm away, the betrayal tangling him up like a rope. The laughter that had filled the room felt like a painful joke he hadn't wanted to participate in. The finality of their betrayed confidence was underscored by the door slamming behind him. Breathless, the turmoil of emotions overtook him as the crisp night air struck him like a shot of adrenaline. Did they stand a chance at all? Could he ever trust Chrissy again? A deep need for answers rose in tandem with feelings of betrayal in his chest. Jim realized that there were many dark and enlightening possibilities ahead. As the night stretched on, it felt like only the beginning. Could a passionate relationship possibly withstand a breakup this destructive? The night itself felt as elusive as the answer, and the path ahead looked anything but simple. He was forced to face the brutal, naked truth of betrayal in love and the perilous attraction of the past. As he made his way through the city streets, the bustling streets below took on a golden hue as the sun dropped low over New York City, creating a lively atmosphere of laughter and clinking drinks in the trendy bars. But things were about to change drastically. At one table, Chrissy Lampkin sat across from Jim Jones, looking equally determined and irritated. After experiencing their fair share of ups and downs, they were no longer the same. Their conversation seemed veiled, as if Chrissy and Jim's mother were feeling tense. "We need to talk about your mother," Chrissy spoke in a composed but passionate tone. "I can't keep pretending like nothing is wrong when she treats me disrespectfully all the time." Jim groaned and stroked the back of his neck. "It's my mother, so you have to understand where she's coming from," he muttered. "It's not just about how your mother treats me," Chrissy continued, her eyes sparkling. "You cannot keep making excuses for her." The air crackled with unresolved feelings when a text message from Jim's phone buzzed on the table. His mother's message rained down insults until his face turned icy. "She's messaging me right now, claiming that you're stirring up strife in our family. This is outrageous. Your mother won't let me do what I want, which is to be a part of your life." A nearby table turned to listen as Chrissy's rising voice broke through. Before Chrissy could respond, someone moved to the side of their table. Jim was getting more and more irritated, feeling like they were always at odds. Maybe, he thought, if Chrissy just made an effort to comprehend his mother, things would improve. Jim's mother, with a glare in her eyes, stated, "I'm tired of your disrespect, Christina." The tension snapped. "Do you really believe you can simply enter this room and take my son away?" Chrissy retaliated. "You're going to let her talk to me like that?" Chrissy asked, her words hanging in the air like a challenge. Jim stood up, trying to defuse the situation. "You have to show me respect." "I'm not trying to take him away," Chrissy's voice cracked. Jim's face twisted with internal struggle as the weight of his mother's devotion tugged at him. But Chrissy had had enough. With fury emanating from her like heat from a fire, she leaped from her seat. "You let her take charge of everything while things were chaotic, which is why we can't cooperate anymore," she cried. Jim, now enraged, tried to stop Chrissy from moving forward, but in a moment of shock, he smacked her cheek, startling the entire room. Gasps broke out around them as silence engulfed the space. Jim's eyes widened in horror at what he had just done. His heart sank as Chrissy, her face alternating between determination and misery, tearfully muttered, "You picked her over me." That was the moment Chrissy pivoted on her heel, leaving Jim standing alone. "I won't be in a love triangle with your mother, Jim. You need to figure out what you want," she said calmly. The silence in the cafe was deafening. Jim stood motionless as the reality of what had just occurred sank in. He was torn between loyalty and betrayal. Things would never be the same. Jim's pulse quickened as Chrissy's proposal weighed heavily on his mind. Would he defend Chrissy, or would he let their love be overshadowed by the strong currents of family loyalty? For updates and new perspectives on their relationship as time goes on, many can identify with the universal themes of love, devotion, and personal development that are highlighted by their trip. They remind us that relationships are about more than simply getting somewhere. They're also about the events and changes that happen on the journey. As demonstrated by Christian Jim, as he keeps navigating their path, we wish them both clarity, understanding, and happiness in whatever shape that pleasure may come as they embark on this new chapter. Whether they choose to stay put or walk down the aisle, it's critical to keep in mind what brings people happiness and fulfillment. It's fine for some couples to never walk down the aisle after years of dating and shared experiences. Whether you achieve it jointly or separately, what counts most is finding contentment and serenity. The world waits, hoping for some understanding and clarity as Chrissy and Jim traverse this new phase. Rarely is a love story straightforward. Sometimes, being loyal to oneself while navigating the complexity of partnership is the most crucial thing. For individuals who are following their journey, happiness for them both, no matter what path they ultimately choose, is the goal. As the days pass, the ups and downs that come with love are depicted by the way their relationship dynamics are ever-changing. Though there is tension with AMA, every encounter and public appearance gives the novel they are crafting together a new depth. John serves as a constant reminder of how crucial family is to interpersonal relationships and the difficulties in maintaining them. The water's depths can occasionally be crippling. Over the years, Jim and Chrissy have both developed personally, learning from their successes and failures not only about love but also about communication, understanding, and respect. In addition to reflecting on their time spent together, they might be considering their goals for the future, both in their relationship and for themselves. Talks about marriage often mirror larger expectations from society, and it's clear that Chrissy and Jim are managing these expectations in unique ways. It can be difficult to choose what is actually best for them when family, fans, and the industry can all create tense conditions, not always in accordance with each person's desire or willingness.